borrow your table there? Cheers. Hi, how are you doing? Yay! Excellent. Hiya, my name's Dan, and I'm half Welsh and half Indian. So, this accent could go either way, really, couldn't it? That's better. I am, my name is Dan, and I am half Indian and half Welsh. So as far as I'm concerned, monkeys, cows and elephants are sacred, but I can do whatever the hell I like to sheep. Officer. I don't know if you guys might be able to help me out with something. Actually, I've been thinking about something recently. I don't know if I could gauge the mood in the room a bit. Is shagging lambs worse than shagging full-grown sheep? I don't know. Is there an age of consent for animals? I asked not for myself, you understand. Not for me, no. All the sheep I've been involved with were way over 16. But my uncle has admitted to me recently that, in the 70s, he did work for the BBC. And then during his leisure time, he played the field. Or fields. I think, to be honest though, he was really just a little bit spooked by the fact that the police operation was codenamed U-Tree. There we go, that lowered the bar a bit, didn't it? Oh, there we go. I heard an R, my first R. Wonderful, thank you very much. I am mixed race. So, my mum is Indian and my dad is a heptathlete. One of the best things about being mixed race is actually kind of growing up in a household where you have these two great cultures sort of colliding together. Just as an example, there is the wonderful tradition of folk music. Trust me, you really haven't heard What's New Pussycat until you've heard it sung by an all-male Hindi close harmony voice choir with Uncle Vikram on sitar, Auntie Poonam on shinai, and your twin sisters rocking out some serious Bollywood dance moves in the background. I tell you, what a funeral that was. Never has a cat had such a good send-off. Fair enough that, Regent's Canal isn't quite the Ganges. But then, the cat wasn't quite dead. So it's a problem. Actually, a lot of people don't believe me. They don't believe me when I tell them I'm half Welsh. They see me, and they see me stood next to Michael, who was on just before the audience, and they think that I must be Jewish. Which, has its upsides and its downsides. On the downside, I do always seem to be the first port of call for Venetian merchants looking for a loan. I am the only guest at friends' weddings that gets given a plastic wine glass. And every time I go into town, the UN are waiting to throw me out of my local branch of the NatWest Bank. But it does have its positive sides as well. It does have its positive sides. For instance, there weren't any actual Jewish kids at my school, which is what happens when you go to school in Iran. No, there weren't any actual Jewish kids at my school, so I got the choice, I got my pick of all the great dramatic Jewish roles. Fagin, Shylock, Anne Frank. I tell you what, I liked her first book, Anne Frank, but she's not really done a lot lately, has she? Must have had hidden talent. But it's actually, for a comic, it's actually sort of a great compliment to be mistaken for Jewish when you're a comedian, because it already puts you up there in people's minds with the great sort of pantheon of great Jewish comics, Woody Allen, Krusty the Clown, Alan Sugar. It's great. And it has actually happened to me at a gig before. My second gig, I turned up, and outside the venue was a big sign that said, Dan Gilbert, Jewish comedian. Of course, I thought I told them to write Dan Gilbert, newish comedian. But the J and the N are very close on those little iPhone keypads. I have actually, it's not the first time that kind of typo has happened. I have actually had to change the signature on the bottom of all my messages. So it says sent from my iPhone, so please excuse the typos. I've actually got a friend. And I've actually got a friend. That's not the joke, by the way. But I have got a friend. Oh, no. He's gone. But I do have a friend who actually works in a blood bank, and he's actually changed his message, so it says, "Sent from my iPhone, so please excuse the typos." I tell you, if I ever contract diabetes, I'm so changing that message. So it says, "Sent from my iPhone, so please excuse the hypos." So two types of diabetes, aren't there? Two types of diabetes. There's type 1, and the type that's your own fault. And on that, you've been a brilliant audience. Thank you very much. Good night.